Hello.
Hi, do you want to come over for a beer and catch the game?
Not right now. I'm helping my neighbor build raised beds so she can start gardening.
Why would anybody bother gardening? It's far too much work considering how cheap and available food is.
Even if you think food is cheap, there are many people who cannot afford to eat healthy in our own neighborhood. The cheapest foods, things like processed meats and starches, are often all they can afford. Wholesome vegetables are a luxury. You are also making the assumption that food will always be this cheap and available. Preparing for hard times is never a wasted effort.
That's not an assumption. Globalization allows us to eat anything we want at a reasonable price.
So what happens to globalization and our food supply once we reach peak oil?
Oh, great. You're on about peak oil again. Name one credible source who claims peak oil is going to happen anytime soon.
How about the U.S. military? Are they credible enough for you? A recent report states that by 2012 oil supply will not meet demand, and by 2015 we will be short by 10 million barrels of oil a day.
Okay, but we're rich. We can just outbid the poor countries for the remaining oil.
In some cases we may be able to do that, but don't forget that these are the very countries we are buying cheap food from. They will also need oil to grow food and ship it to us. Did you know that the majority of oil produced comes from state-owned oil companies? Once we have real oil shortages, countries will renege on trade deals to ensure their own people do not suffer. The market will become very chaotic. Some countries will also ration or allocate oil to the production of domestically consumed crops to the detriment of the export market. Our food supply will be endangered, and prices are sure to go up a great deal.
Great. So if you think we are all doomed, how much good do you think this one little garden will do?
For this one person, the garden will make a great deal of difference in their health and quality of life. But it's not just about this one garden, it's about building hundreds or thousands of gardens in each community. It's about building the capacity within our cities to grow a significant portion of our own food. No one is doomed if aware of the changes coming and prepared for them. That's why I'm working with Transtion York Region on this garden building project.
What is Transtion York Region?
It's part of the Transition Towns Network. Groups of like-minded people joining together to build resilient communities able to meet more of their needs locally. There are many possible shocks communities could face in the future, like peak oil, economic recessions, and the effects of climate change.
I guess that would be important to some people, but I don't even like vegetables.
There are many other initiatives taking place in transition towns other than just gardening. You could learn to cook with the sun, preserve food, insulate your home, learn other useful skills, or build a better community through arts and cultural activities.
So I take it this means you're not coming over for beer?
I see that you don't take this threat seriously. Did you know that 2 years ago there was a hop shortage, and even today it's almost impossible to buy local hops in Ontario?
No hops? That means no beer.
Exactly, no beer. You may not like vegetables, but growing hops for yourself and other local beer lovers is a valid way to build local resiliency. Not only does it ensure you have the hops needed to brew your own beer, it also creates a cottage industry that might prove useful in case of financial problems. You and others could form a beer brewing work group, have taste contests, and teach brewing. You could become a very popular and valuable member of a post-carbon community. When building resilient communities, you often find that the things that need to be done are also things you already like to do.
That might be cool. I could have a brewery in my garage, like in the Drew Carey show.
When I'm finished here, I'll come over and have that beer. I'll even bring you a book on brewing and send you some websites for buying hop plants.
Thanks. Send me the link for the Transition Town site too. See you later.